Hey man, I'm telling you, man, that's my new whole publishing, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you know, years later, this shit turned out right, man. You know, every quarter, you know what I'm saying, they blessed me.
So up until that point where Puff asked you about the publishing, did you go back to the other artists like, yo, run me my cash?
You don't do it like that. I just had my lawyer to go, and the money isn't, they can't take the money, Math. It's called copyright control.
Right.
So you get what they call a forensic account. A forensic account, like how they do forensics on murder cases, where they do forensics on money.
Right.
And they go and they check all your money, look through all, they turn everything over. And then, you know, that's how I kind of got up on it. And then from there, you know what I'm saying, I just started, you know, registering and making sure that anytime I do a song, I get, you know, the name of the song, I get the people involved, and I send it, you know, through my publishers, you know, through my performance right organizations. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how I get. Then I started studying it too. I said, damn, publishing's good 89 years after you dead. Then I started studying Michael Jackson. I said, Michael Jackson owned the Beatles. And then when he died, you know, Janet Jackson, they sold it for $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? So publishing is extremely relevant. And I see why Sony Records was mad at Michael Jackson, because he owned half of Sony, because that's how much publishing Paul McCartney had. He gave him a heap of publishing, you know what I'm saying? So he was able to leverage that. And people say, man, Michael Jackson lived in $1 million house. Yeah, he lived in $1 million house, $1,000 house a month. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to extrapolate that from his publishing checks. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't take into consideration, but a lot of times, man, it's very important to make sure that you sign your publishing. And then another thing too, if somebody in the booth with you, I know it's a lot of young people, don't let nobody say, hey man, put that beat right there, or hey man, do that. Because they part of that publishing as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just learned the whole game, man. And, you know, I learned about Whitney Houston, you know, what they really got me when I was studying, it said Whitney Houston did a song called The Bodyguard. Remember, I Would Always Love You? Yeah. But then I found out that Dolly Parton was the one that was receiving the money. Right. So that's when I really kind of got on my game, and I just started getting on everybody out. People didn't know what I was doing. They said, "Kid, on about $1 million out." I said, "Okay, y'all gonna find out later." Hey, all their life, all they ever see me drive is Rolls Royces and buy car. I just bought me a 41 millimeter the other day. I paid $42,000 for it, you know, just off of publishing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm still, you know, got the big body outside the 560, you know, off of publishing. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, people don't understand, you know, and the best example I can give, I know you want to talk about something else, but the best example I can give is my main man, Sir Mix-a-Lot. You know, he's the #1 person who receives residuals on publishing in the game off of that song. I like big butts. He did that, man. It's in so many movies. Man, and when you go overseas, I'm gonna give you some more game, man. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of brothers don't know. The reason why these record labels want your publishing so bad, this is the reason why they want it so bad, is because they take your music and they take it over there to China and to Singapore and to the Philippines, and they turn it to techno. And you don't hear your music, but up under that techno is publishing. You know what I'm saying? Me and Pimp C did a song called Two Type of Bitches, right? A movie company called me and said, look, we can't put this movie out without you because you're on the song. So they had to pay me a decent check to be able to sign over on that song. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, brothers don't understand, you know, you can get publishing from TV, jukeboxes, concerts, you know, in this barbershop, they're playing your music, get published. So it's a lot of ways to collect the money. You know what I'm saying? The international publishing, that's a whole nother performance right organization that you have to sign with. That's it.
It gets sticky because then there's companies outside of the U.S. who will try to claim your publishing if your record is moving out there and you don't.
Or the record label take your music out there and they pay the DJs to play it. And then it becomes a hit over in Singapore or over in Guam. Right. And now you get maximum BDSs in rotation over there, and it's getting the same amount of money that you would get over here. And now they even came up with something new, and a lot of artists got to understand this. They got the blockchain now. So what they're doing is a lot of record labels is they buying the publishing and put it on blockchain. So on the blockchain, what it does is the blockchain, it's called the Genesis. Like my fist would be the first Genesis. Then we go around all these fists, connect them together. That's called the blockchain. And then, you know, how you receive money is through cryptology, which is cryptocurrency. So that cryptocurrency, just imagine if you did a song with, say, Universal Records today, or maybe I say 5 or 10 years ago, if you did a song with them, you get about 45,000 for that song, right? Because you know what I'm saying, that's what you're publishing and after, you know, production and all the different ways they charge. You got a record label Pimp, right? So after you get that Pimp, you get 45,000. But if you do it on the blockchain, you can say 50 cents. So 50 cents, you sell 1 million records, they give you $500,000 on the blockchain. And then you hear all these cuts. They always say, man, rap is the biggest genre of music. Of course it's the biggest genre, but they don't tell you that a lot of these country westerns, a lot of these rock organizations is on the blockchain. So they making heaps of money, you know, doing less music, sell less music than you, but they get more of a premium because they understand what the blockchain is. And a lot of these people, see, America got what you call the fiat. The fiat is the dollar, right? You know what I'm saying? The money we got in our pocket, that's called the fiat.
Right.
So if you take a dollar over to Nigeria, right, you get maybe for $100, you get 10,000 Nigerian dollars, and vice versa, state to state, Singapore, you know, I mean Senegal, so on and so forth. So what that means is the money doesn't have the value in Nigeria that it has in the United States. But if you do cryptocurrency, it's the same, and it's decentralized.
Right.
The money in the United States is centralized, so they control it through the fiat. And then they can take it and, you know, then they say they got gold to back it, they ain't got gold to back it, but everybody that's getting money is getting it from cryptocurrency. And you can also mint your own coin. So that's where a lot of, you know, artists, you know, that you don't see hardly anymore, that's where they at. They over on the
cryptocurrency isn't taxable, correct?
Yeah, huh?
It's not taxable, correct?
Well, you know, I mean, they're going to figure out how to tax it, but, you know,
but as of right now,
basically they give you 2 keys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can hide it. And as long as you don't, nobody don't know where their key at, you know, where your key at, you know what I mean? It's like a virtual key. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like if you lose, say for instance, if I had $1 million of cryptocurrency and I lose my key and I don't put it on a ledger, I don't put the information, the key can be numbers. You don't put that on a ledger, you lose $1 million.
That's crazy.
So that's the only backdrop to cryptocurrency, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so I fuck with it, you know, I invest in it, but, you know, I make sure, you know, that I keep my ledger, you know, my main information in the vault, in the safe deposit box.
Oh, dope. So is this what you're doing now? You're putting artists on to like, yo, you need to do it this way with your
Yeah, that's what the hip hop fraternity is. We basically a think tank. So that means everybody got to think. If you want to be a part of the hip hop fraternity, you know, because the Prophet Honorable Noble Drew Ali once said, if I can get my people to think, they'll save themselves. And, you know, I've been following Noble Drew Ali since 1976. I'm a Moorish American. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that brother, you know, he kind of got me in the kind of mindset of take finance to uplift the nation. So yes, we want to teach our young people about finance because that's what I was taught as a young boy coming into the Moorish Science Temple, is that you must, you know, you can't use the restroom without toilet paper. You can't brush your teeth without toothpaste. So it takes finance to uplift the nation. But in teaching finance, you also got to teach financial literacy. So you got to teach them how to slave, save, and trade, you know, and invest, you know, and that's what we teach them. And we teach them like, hey, look, you know, you might want to be independent. You know, if you want to be a label, you might want to be independent. I tell them about, you know, the label will give you a 50% production deal and give you 15% royalties with no escalation clause, de-escalation clause, or escalation clause, which puts you in the rear because the 15%, how many records did you have to sell at 15% to recoup, you know, a 50% production deal? Production, ladies and gentlemen, in case y'all don't know, that's the video. You know what I'm saying? When you see people shoot $1 million video, you owe $500,000. So how many records you have to sell to get that?
I don't think people understand that at 15% is also what you have to pay back, whatever money they invest.
Yeah, it's recoupable. Like, you know, I'm a literary agent, right? So I just signed Boosie to a book deal, and I signed Ice-T to a book deal. So, you know, of course, you know, they want to know what's the difference. So I had to let Boosie and Ice-T know. I said, look, if you do a record deal, you're dealing with Chase Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? You deal with a book deal, you deal with MGM. So what does that mean? Like the money that I get them from, you know, with Simon & Schuster, like, you know, that's right here down the street, you know. You know, the deals that I did with Simon & Schuster, they don't have to recoup that money. Of course they need to recoup it, but if they don't recoup it, then you walk away clear because they taking a gamble like MGM. But if you deal with Chase, which is Sony Records, Universal Records, then they gonna charge you 1,000,000% interest on that album. And you're gonna be spending the rest of your life trying to recoup. So, you know what I mean? That's one of the things that we teach at the hip hop fraternity. Like, look, man, you know, wake up. You know, Ice-T is one of my advisors. You know, we got Yuck Mouth. We got a lot of celebrity. Even my man, the real Rick Ross, he's a director of books. So, you know, basically, you know, at the hip hop fraternity, you know, we let them know that hip hop is the second largest genre, is the second largest export of American exports. It's the #1 genre. It's a $1 trillion industry. You know, out of all of the entities within our community, the African American community, is only hip hop that created 5 billionaires. There's nothing within our sphere as African Americans that we could say that created billionaires. Jay-Z, Puffy, Kanye, y'all know the rest, right. Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? And then the untold amount of millionaires. You know, so this is our culture. You know, I always say, look, man, y'all from Holland, y'all gonna know what I'm about to say, right? You know, first, you know, we had our Jewish brothers. They came through. They had the delis. They had the real estate. They had the jury. You know what I'm saying? They did well for themselves. And African Americans love deli. We love real estate. We love jewelry. Jewelry. We love renting houses and stuff, right? We don't purchase. We don't own no property. Then, you know, the Chinaman came. He gave us shrimp fried rice, the sister's hair, gave them nails, and so on and so forth. You know, and they did well for themselves. Hey, what they call it, egg rolls and everything, right? And then, you know, the Arabs came. You know, they did gas stations, grocery stores. You know, and did well for themselves. Okay, now here come the Indians. You know, they got gas stations, hotel, you know, grocery stores, the same thing. But God gave us hip hop. Come on, He gave the Mexicans tacos. He gave he gave them
strong jaws too.
He gave strong jaws. He gave the Chinaman egg rolls. He gave the Italian spaghettis. He gave the Jews kosher. He gave us hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to understand. This is our culture. Started here. You know, Sylvia Robinson. You know, Big Bank Hank, way back. You know, in the Bronx years ago. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, it's been grown into a multi-billion-dollar culture, and we curate. So in our saying, and I'm gonna let James speak on it, says our culture, our call. So we believe as the HHF, which is this diamond chain on my thing, we believe that we control the culture, that this is ours as well as tacos and everything belong to the Mexicans, that as well as jewelry belong to the Jews, as well as any other thing. Egg rolls belong to the Chinaman. You know, this is our culture, our call, but it's diversified. So we understand that we only represent 13% of the population. If you take women, old men, women, and children out, we talk about a 6% population where we actually curate the culture, but we understand that it's a lot of diversity in it, because if it is the #1 genre, if it is making billions of dollars in music, that means that other cultures have, I think, what's it, Brother Steve Stout called it the Tannin of America. You know, so we offer other entities in other communities, but at the hip hop fraternity, we just want to let them know that, you know, we got our own HHF magazine, we got our own HHF record label, we got our own HHF management team, HHF radio, we got HHF awards, we have our own award show, we got HHF clothing. You know, we believe that we don't just say, like Dr. Clyde Anderson said, we don't just say independent, we show that we independent. We show that we own everything HHF. All roads lead to HHF, period.
What does that mean? HHF?
Hip hop fraternity.
Hip hop fraternity.
Hip hop fraternity. I'm gonna let my CEO speak a little bit on that.
Check.
It's Hoffa. Trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.